Hello and welcome to this week's episode of I Think I'm Human Too. I'm in Austin, Texas with the one and only Sarah.
Hello.
Mike.
Hello. We're getting used to this.
I know. You have to talk into it the whole time. Like
Okay,
it literally
we're
has
here.
to be right there. Yep. Okay, so we're in Austin, Texas. Say hello to Sarah. I'm so excited. Sarah has such a fun story, and in this episode, I just want you to share all of it, all the ups, the downs, the exciting parts of life. So I found you on TikTok. You actually shared your apartment complex when you were living in
Minneapolis.
Minneapolis. I was like, wait, that's the Minneapolis skyline. I literally followed her on TikTok, and then I was like, wait, oh my God, she's in Minneapolis. I went over to her Instagram. I was like, follow on Instagram.
Let's be friends.
Yeah. And then we were just mutuals for a little bit, and then you ended up moving to Dallas.
Yep.
Okay. How are you liking Dallas?
I love Dallas. I moved almost a year ago to the date.
Okay.
I loved Minneapolis too. So I'm from South Dakota originally.
Yeah.
So this is my second move. Moved to Minneapolis for about 4 years and loved it. But then honestly just couldn't do the cold.
Yeah.
So I needed to go to Dallas, or needed to go somewhere warmer, and
Yeah.
Dallas ended up being where I chose. But I love Dallas so much. I have zero regrets about it.
Do you think you're going to move to another city ever?
I don't know. Mom, if you're listening to this, plug your ears. I'm
Mom,
moving
if you're
home next year.
I'm moving home next year. Make my room comfortable, please.
Yeah.
If you've been around for quite some time, you know that I am an open book, whether it's on my social medias or over here on the podcast. And talking about birth control was not one of the things that I was going to shy away from. So my husband and I have chose to track our cycles naturally. Well, ours as in mine. And how we do that is through the Natural Cycles app. I have spoken about it over on Instagram and here on a couple podcast episodes of how much I absolutely love this app. So I'm very excited to be able to share this with you guys. Every single morning, I sync my Aura Ring to the app. And if you don't have an Aura Ring, you can also just take your temperature every morning and manually enter it. Every morning, I go through all the questions. Am I bleeding that day? Am I spotting? Do I have any period symptoms? How's my mood? Do I have any mucus? Have I had any intercourse? All the fun stuff that you need to know. Some things that I didn't and wasn't aware of before I started using the app. And when I started looking into more information, you can really only get pregnant during a 6-day window of your ovulation cycle. So if you know when and if you're ovulating, that's how you can prevent a pregnancy and or plan a pregnancy if you're trying. So it's absolutely phenomenal and I highly recommend it. I do have a code for listeners. You can visit naturalcycles.app/Catherine or use code Catherine at naturalcycles.com for 20% off an annual subscription and a free thermometer. Natural Cycles is for 18 plus and does not protect against STIs.
I don't know. I really do like Dallas, but I am the kind of person, like, whenever I get too comfortable, I'm like, okay, what can I change? Like, what can I switch up to keep things exciting?
Yeah.
And right now, I'm not tied down to anyone or anything in Dallas. I have a job that I love in Dallas, but it's pretty flexible. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I really do like Dallas, but
do you get
we'll see where
anxiety
things go.
moving by yourself?
I really did the first time. I had no idea what I was doing.
To Minneapolis?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So from South Dakota, small state, but the city I lived in was like 200,000. So, you know.
Where in South
Sioux
Dakota?
Falls.
Okay.
So it was like a decently sized place, but I always knew that I wanted to live somewhere bigger and somewhere warmer. And Minneapolis was kind of the closest
Step up.
major city. Yeah. And at the time a friend was going to go. So I was like, I'm piggybacking. I'm coming with you. She ended up not going. So I knew a couple people in Minneapolis, but was not good friends. So that was scary, but nice to know that I at least knew somebody to kind of fall back on. But yeah, it was the first time moving. I had no idea what I was doing. I'd never been that far away from my family. I went to college in South Dakota. So it was weird, but I think I always knew that's what I wanted to do. So a bigger part of me was like, no, this is right. Like,
it's right.
You'll figure it out. Yeah. I think I was way less nervous moving to Dallas because I had done it before. Definitely nervous because it was so much further away. In Minneapolis, it was like, if I wanted to go home, if I felt homesick, if something happened.
Just a drive.
It's a quick 4-hour drive.
Yeah.
And now it's like a quick 12-hour drive or
Is that
a
really
flight.
how far it is?
Yeah.
12
yeah,
hours?
12 hours
Why
nonstop.
did I think it was further? I don't know why.
Minneapolis to Dallas is a little bit further. But
Okay.
Dallas, Sioux Falls, straight shot, 12 hours.
Oh, like one highway straight up?
Oh, no, like
Pretty
you
much?
didn't stop. Pretty much one
Gotcha.
highway. But
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so if someone, especially a female, is looking to make a massive life change, go across the country somewhere, or even just out of their little town,
Yeah.
what's like one piece of advice that you're like, I wish I knew this going to Minneapolis, my first move? Do you have anything?
Yes, I always tell people this when they're moving. If you have a pull telling you to do it. Just try it out. A lease is short. It's 12 months. You can even make it less. I always recommend a 12-month lease. And for me, at least, there was like 2 different phases when you move. Right away, you're so excited. Like you get there and you're like, oh my God, I did it. I'm here. Everything's new and exciting. And then after a couple months, however long it is, I always go through a phase of like, oh my God, what did I do?
Yeah.
I don't know anybody. I don't know anything.
You get into like the lull.
Yep. Yeah, the
Real
newness
life
like wears off.
Yeah.
And you realize you're missing out on everything back home. You're far away from friends and family, and nothing around you is familiar. Like the city doesn't feel like home yet. So my advice is to like know that that's coming. I wish I knew that I would go through that, because in Minneapolis I really struggled. I was like, oh my God, what did I do? And I would see all my friends at home, like going out, going to concerts. So know that
Immediate FOMO.
Exactly. So if you know that's coming and you can kind of push through it, if it's meant to be the move, you'll push past it and be happy. If you never push past it, I think that's kind of your sign of like, this isn't right. And I should.
You tested the waters. It's time to go back.
Yeah.
I agree. So I moved and I had an episode on that and I talked all about that. And it's funny because not a lot of people do the move, especially cross country. I went from Florida to Minnesota.
Yep.
And that was my exact thing of like, you have to just sit through that lull and get through it and just know that there's brighter days.
Yeah. And know that it's going to be really uncomfortable.
100%.
You have to like put yourself out there, which is really hard to do when you've been in your hometown and all you know is like the people you went to high school with or the people you went to college with.
How did you make new friends? Just online?
Minneapolis, I was lucky. I had a job where I worked with a lot of people my age, and I'm actually still very good friends with all of them. So met friends through that. And I knew some people that I went to college with. So kind of just like people that I wasn't very close with, but knew of and tried to connect through that.
Okay.
But then Dallas was a lot harder. I knew one person in Dallas. And so with that, I made friends, honestly, through social media, which has been awesome. My recommendation, people always ask, like, how do you make friends so quickly in a new city? You have to put yourself out there. It's weird, but like message people on social media. If you feel like you have something in common with them, shoot them a message and ask if they want to go on a walk, go get a coffee, go get a drink. And if somebody invites you to do something, I have those nights where I'm like, I do not feel like going anywhere. I just want to sit at home. But if it's a chance to make new friends, like get your butt up.
Yes, girl, you guys.
You got to be a yes girl. You got to be a yes girl.
You are, and I love that. Savannah's like that too, and I'm just like, sometimes, do you feel like that wears you out though?
100%.
You ever
but
like
when
drained?
you're like, especially when I first moved here, I was like, I met a couple girls on social media, but I didn't know them well. So anytime we were going to do something, I was like, I'm going. Like, you have to just get up and go. And
you have a group now though. So I saw your birthday party a couple months, was it a month ago?
At the beginning of the month. Yeah. Couple weeks.
And there's a good amount of people there. And most of them are from here, right?
Yep.
So you're doing your thing.
Yeah.
And I think she knows how to do it. She's got a group of friends.
We'll figure it out. I think that's a perfect example of like, so many people are in the same boat, especially when you move to a bigger city. Most people in Dallas are transplants that I've met. Like a lot of people moved there from other cities, but most of the people at that party didn't know each other. So it's like bringing, like you find a couple friends and then bring them to another group and everybody kind of meshes. I think that's the easiest way to make a decent sized group of friends.
Yeah. That's
even if you find somebody and you don't mesh very well with them, bring them along to somebody else that you know. They might mesh with them and you might mesh with their friend, whatever.
And you're like, bye. Have fun.
Yeah. It's like a little speed dating.
Yes, I was just about to say that. We're Cupid for friends.
Yes.
Because everyone's like, oh, how do you always know each other? Or even just like last night, everyone starts pointing at me. They're like, oh, well, I know her.
Yeah,
and
through her.
I met everybody else today.
Yep.
But okay, so last time when I was in Dallas, I flew in April.
Yeah.
And I'm looking out my apartment or my hotel window. And you had just posted on your Instagram story, and it was the dog park directly under my hotel. And I was like, wait a second. she's in there like right now. And
I see you.
I was like, oh my God. And then we ended up going out that night and I invited you and you're like, okay, I'm coming. I was like, okay, perfect.
Yeah, you're like, we're going to the stockyards. What are you doing? I was like, nothing. That's
That was
if
our
somebody
first time
invites
ever
you,
meeting.
you say yes.
Absolutely. See, what's funny is I go opposite. I'm like so uncomfortable, especially by myself. So I give you mad props for being the woman you are because I'm like, I am like one of those people, unless I know 110% somebody's like going in and getting a dinner reservation, I can do that because I know somebody's showing up.
Yep.
But other than that, I'm like, if I'm alone, I'm like, nope, I'm not going.
Yeah.
I don't care. It's okay. I can do like coffee, but I can't like go out with a random group of people for the night.
I trusted you that we would have a good time because we had known each other on social media. But yeah, meeting somebody new, I wouldn't like go out to the bar with them for the first time. Like have your first meetup be like, you can go to like a happy hour or go get lunch, coffee, whatever. But like going out, people tend to like have a little personality change when they get drunk most of the time for the good. But sometimes people can get a little crazy and that might ruin your friendship on day one. So save that for later.
That's not a good first date.
No. Yeah, like think about what would you do on a first date? Would you go like out to a club with somebody on your first date? No. You would go, like you have to think about friendship as dating.
I have to think about that one, actually. What kind of club
actually,
are
we would be dropping it low.
Yeah, actually, I need the entire table and all the bottles in the building. Like, come on now. If you don't got it, then just say that.
Yeah. If you're boring, just tell me.
If you're broke, just say that.
Yes.
I'm just kidding. Okay, so something else that I found. Okay, I had originally asked Sarah. I was like, hey, we're coming to Austin. And I'm down here to film for some other people. And I was like, I think you have a fun story. And you're like, I don't have anything to share. I was like, yes, you do. And I think that's a very important thing to tell everybody out there listening. No matter who you are or what level status you are in life or your bank account, like it does not matter. Everybody's got a story to share.
Yeah.
And you're in different shoes than I am in, obviously, because we're just different human beings. But I can't speak to the things that you go through, but so many women go through them. So I'm like, I think it's important to talk about those things and if you're open to it. So you just turned 30.
Yep.
And you're single, living your best
30,
life.
30 and single.
I love that though. How do you feel about that? How does that feel for you?
I think the number 30 with single put like a different spin on it, but I've been, because that just sounds old. Like in my 20s and being single, that was like, oh, fun, like you're just living your life. And I think society has such a pressure that like there's this clock on you that you have to be married and having kids by a certain age. So I think the number 30 sounds scary, but I knew that. So I've been actively doing a lot to kind of reframe my mindset around it. But no, I've been, my relationship history is funny. I have been.
Oh yeah, give me the deets.
Tell
me everything.
I have not had a long-term relationship. And I think, no.
What's like your longest one?
Like several months.
Really?
Yeah.
So who ends it? Is it you or you're like, I get the ick and I gotta go?
I mostly end on like initial dates. Like for me, I'm very picky without trying to be. I think I've just learned like I've become very independent.
Standards I am proud of.
Yeah. And it's not even like you have to look a certain way or be a certain height. Like to me, it's really all about personality. Like if I'm not clicking with you, I'm like, I would honestly rather spend this time by myself. And I've learned that like growing up throughout my early 20s, throughout my high school years, college years, my mom gave me this advice, which she probably didn't mean for me to take it so literally, but I remember her telling me that she wasted a lot of time on relationships in high school that never worked out. And she said she felt like she missed out on a lot of life. Like her friends would be going out to do something and she was hanging out with this guy that never ended up being anything. And so I took that to heart in high school and college and was like, I'm not interested in finding a relationship. Like I just want to enjoy my 20s, enjoy my teenage years.
Like, I admire you. I'm just like, oh my God.
But then
why didn't my mom tell me that?
We girl boss too close to the sun.
Right. We girl boss too close.
We're in trouble. No. Then I just like got so used to being by myself. And so when I started to actually date to find somebody like mid to late 20s, I was like, if I'm not really enjoying who you are, I would rather be by myself.
Yeah,
like I know how to spend my time now. So I'm not dating to date. I'm not lonely. Obviously, I think anybody would like to have another person to like come home and share their day with and just like have your person. But I'm never sitting at home being like, I don't care who's here. I just want somebody to be here because I can't be by myself. That's
I'm
never
proud of you for
been
that.
me.
I'm so proud of you for that because a lot of people go through that of like
Yeah.
they'll settle just because
Yes.
they're like the clock is ticking.
Yep.
And I don't believe in that at all.
No.
I would rather be single and 40 than
Yeah.
married to the wrong person or even living with the wrong person
Yep.
because when you come home, your home is supposed to be your safe space. It's supposed to be the place where like you don't have to say a single thing. I don't have
Yep.
to tell you about my day. Like sometimes like Raphael and I just do not even talk
Yeah.
because we mentally just can't even deal with each other. And it's not even like it's just draining. The
Yep.
day's draining. But when you're sitting next to the wrong person, you're draining in your own safe space. And it's like, this is where I
Exactly.
come home to refill. Like
Yep.
I don't come home to drain out.
Yeah, and if you don't want to be there, like I'll see people on social media commenting like, "Oh, I wish I could get away from this, and that," and I'm just like, "You sound so miserable," and I feel like
No,
did you-
because online people do think I'm miserable.
Yeah.
They're like, you literally hate your husband. I was like, okay, to the
You're like,
public eye, I actually made it look like that. But when people say that, I'm like, wait, I'm offended.
No, this is the first time I met your husband, and seeing your guys' relationship in real life, like the amount of care that he has for you, and like
it's insane.
It's what you're seeing is like a fraction of the story, you know.
And
like,
we ran with it. We like started
yeah,
as
like
jokesters.
you're joking, yeah.
We started as jokesters, just like making fun of each other online, like as a joke. And then that was what did really well. And we keep up with it. It's kind of like our safe space to like pick on each other and be funny and and be stupid. But yeah, when people
and you, like you should be able to do that with your person. Like
Yeah.
you shouldn't be able to take it to heart. So I think that's a great example.
with that, just as a side note, but some people do say like publicly belittling your partner is wrong. And I do see where people come from with that 110%. But I also do have the other side of like, it is not everything that you see online.
Yes.
So with a grain of salt, Raphael's in my relationship is not all mocking and bullying.
Yes.
I mean, it still is in real life, but like, it doesn't mean I hate him, you guys.
Yeah.
But no, he is the kindest. And I do say that a lot of like, my husband is one of those people that I do want my girlfriends that are single, like do not settle. Cause I've been with a shitty ass person for a very long time and you keep going because you feel like the clock is running out. You feel like you've put in all the energy and the efforts. Like, let's do what's next. Maybe I can change him.
Yeah.
And I did have the feeling back in the days, like, I don't want to make the person that I want to be with. Like, I want them to just be that person.
Yep. And
they are
grow
out
together.
there. Yes.
Like it's okay that you're not perfect, but let's grow together.
Yes.
Like I don't want to change you. I want you to be who you
Yeah.
are, and then let's get better together.
Okay. What's like your perfect characteristics of a guy? Like, what do they have to have? Like, what are your top, like, if they don't have this, you don't even meet the bar minimum?
Respect is very big.
Okay.
Like respect anybody. Like even when you're going out to a restaurant, for somebody to be rude to a server or like somebody in passing, that is a massive turnoff to me. You have to be nice to everybody.
Just even as a human, not even as a girlfriend. I'm like, ew,
Yes.
you're a girl's human.
Yep, have respect. Also, like I said, personality is really big for me. So like having banter back and forth, like if we're just gonna sit there, this is what drives me crazy on dating apps. Getting to know somebody, it's like, hey, how are you? How's your day? I'm like, you don't know anything about me. Like, let's ask me anything.
Right.
And you're gonna ask me like what I made for dinner today. Like, let's have a real conversation. I don't know. So that's like the kind of person I want to go on a date with when we are like going back and forth.
Yeah.
On an app. I'm like, okay, we're gonna at least have a good first date.
Yeah.
Yeah, good banter, respect, communication for me is really, really big. Humor, gotta have humor.
Yeah. So like all the normals.
All the normals.
All the normals.
I promise I'm not looking for like this unicorn of a man.
No, that's all very normal.
Yeah.
You want a
Surprisingly hard to
respectful,
find.
funny human that communicates.
Call me
I will
crazy.
say communication is one of the biggest things that every married couple and every relationship always says is communication is huge. And it's
Yeah.
not cliche. It's so serious. Even Raphael and I, like even just last week we were going through something and I got in my head and it was one of those things like we never get through those like we never have those moments. So it's very, very, very rare. And it was uncomfortable to come to him and be like, hey, like, I'm really going through things mentally right now. And I'm really questioning you. And I hate even questioning you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just really nervous. And it was like the most respectful, honest, down to earth conversation. And I didn't feel uncomfortable asking him that. And I feel so bad for the women that are out there that are like, they don't even want to ask their partner a question. And again, I've been in that relationship. So it's a huge, huge piece. And that's every friendship too. Like, hey, Sarah, what you're doing is kind of annoying me today. Or like, you're like intentionally trying to hurt my feelings. And I'm not mad, but like, can we like maybe stop?
Yeah.
And it's very normal, but I feel like communication is not at people's forefronts anymore.
No,
but.
yeah. And if you don't, then it always spirals. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's like, well, I'm thinking this and you never share it. Yeah. Yeah.
How do you get through watching other people in your circle, like, moving forward in different ways and not comparing?
Yeah, that's been hard because now, I mean, for a while it was like people are in relationships and that was one thing. But then to see all your friends get married and now I'm 30, my friends are having kids. It's tough, but I think I'm a Christian, so I'm like, God has a plan for me.
Yeah.
The universe has a plan, whatever you
Yeah.
want to believe. So I just know at the end of the day, something's going to work out for me. And I think that's kind of what keeps me going. And I look back at like previous relationships I was in or different situations, even not to do with relationships that didn't work out when I wanted them to. And they always had a bigger plan. Like
Yes.
me moving, the job I wanted, like all of these things that I thought I wanted in the moment.
If you were
So
tied down
bad.
to a man, you'd be
Yeah.
like, I can't go anywhere.
Well, yeah. Or even like the job I thought I wanted. Had I gotten that in the moment when I thought I wanted it,
Yeah.
my life would not be what I wanted it to be. I would not be where I am. And so I think no matter what you think you want, there's
Yeah.
always like the right plan for you,
Yeah.
and you just have to be patient. So for every relationship that hasn't worked out or guy that doesn't exist around me, I'm like, there's a reason for it. And I take every past, whatever you want to call it, relationship, guy I talk to as like, okay, what did I like about this person and what didn't I like about him? And I almost take it as like a little blueprint for my future
Yes.
person. Like, I know that I did not like this about you. You were horrible at communicating, but I loved that you did this. And I want to bring that.
wanna
So now for
find
my
that.
next person, I'm looking for these specific things.
I
It's
believe
like
in
practice,
that.
you know?
No, I believe in that wholeheartedly. I had a really horrible ex-boyfriend, and I always say, like, he taught me in one man things that, like, 10 to 20 guys would have to teach a girl.
Yes.
And I was like, I'm actually thankful for that. Like, did he
Saved you
run me
time.
through the ringer? Like, he tied me to the back end of his car and, like, whipped through every neighborhood he could find with all the nooks and crannies on the street. But I was like, I appreciated it. And then it
Yeah.
was like, when I got out into the single world again, I was like, I won't even look at anybody that doesn't touch
Yep.
this bar because it's just not, you just have, it is, a standard is not a bad thing. And
No.
I love when, or I hate when women are like, oh, I'm picky, or like, I'm not asking for too much. I'm like, no, like
ask
it's
for
okay.
what you need.
Yeah. Like, it's okay to do that.
Yeah.
How do you get through like when you are and you're just chilling by yourself and you're kind of going through those lull moments where you're like, how do you stay positive? Because you're a very positive person all the time and you're always happy and you're just like, even during your rants, you're like, but it's okay. I'm like,
That
okay.
I mean, one, not always positive. There are definitely lows, definitely
Okay.
negative thoughts. But I did a lot of work actually starting during the pandemic because I used to be like, I needed to be busy all the time to like distract myself from the fact that I like had nobody to come home to and I had nobody to, like I didn't have a guy to dump on. So I would just like go to concerts and go to happy hours and do things all the time. And then the pandemic hit and the world shut down and I was living by myself in an apartment and I was like, what do I do? Like I was going crazy.
Yeah.
There was one point where I didn't see another human being for 2 weeks, 2 full weeks. Like I was absolutely going
You
crazy.
didn't go to like a grocery store or anything?
No, because it was like the beginning. Like Minneapolis was
Oh,
like
it was,
so
like,
shut
dead.
down. They were like, don't go to the grocery store unless you
You will
have
die.
to. Yeah. So I
You will
like
die and the city will blow up.
bulk ordered groceries and whatever. Yeah, it was like 2 weeks. But I started to do a lot of work. I was like, okay, I'm going to be by myself for who knows how long. Everything shut down. Let's just like work on my mindset. So I started like listening to podcasts, reading books, all that like self-help stuff. I used to think was like, oh, I'm fine. I don't need help.
And then you're listening, you're like,
Wait a minute.
why do I fit this?
Yeah, no, it's like just little tweaks that you start to catch yourself saying something negative about yourself or negative about a situation. And everybody does it, but if you're not consciously aware of it, that starts to build and it just like becomes your personality. Like a bad moment turns into a bad day, turns into a bad week, turns into a bad life.
Yeah.
But if you can have that bad moment and be like, okay, yeah, that sucked, but
It's just a moment.
here are 3 other things that were really awesome that happened that day. Even if it's so little, like I can walk, I can breathe. Like whatever you have to tell yourself. You could be having the worst day of all time.
That's me.
Yeah.
I'm like, but the sun is just shining.
Yep. Like you took a breath today.
Or if it's raining, I'm like, and it's raining and the grass really needed the water.
Yes.
I'm literally so old.
Yes. No, it's little things like start making a list. And eventually, it's not overnight, but eventually, like over the years, I was like, I am so different than who I was a few years ago. So long-winded answer, but it took a lot of work to try to see the positives in different situations. And that's really what I'm doing right now is like, as I get older, it does get tougher. But I'm like, I see so many people who are like, I would kill for a moment away from my kids, away from my husband, to just like have a night in. And I'm like, I get that all the time. I'm sure when I have kids, when I have a family, I'll think back to these days and be like, I would do anything to just like come home after work and.
Because it's gone one day. You just wake up and it's the same thing when I saw this post. It was like a mom saying, I didn't realize the last time I picked up my kid, they just never got picked up again.
Yes.
And I was like, damn. And then I saw something of like, you grow up with your cousins. I don't know if you're really close with your cousins. Yeah. And it's like now we're all adults. You're like, do I even know my cousin anymore past just social media and seeing them at Christmas? Like things like that. And then I started seeing single girls living in their apartments and they're like, oh, I can't wait for a guy, blah, blah. And I'm like, I looked back and I was like, damn, I miss my single apartment with like the girly decor, just coming home to my dog, just making whatever the hell I wanted to eat for dinner.
Watching whatever you want on TV.
Yes. And I do love him dearly, but it's so funny because it's so true. And now I could never imagine living without him.
Yeah.
But I do miss, and then I go back to the other nights of like, so Savannah and I were here just last night by ourselves, or the night before. And I was like, sad, I just want like one night without Raphael because I'm just so used to Raphael. And like, it is fun to go out and have a girls' night. But Raphael and I are like always together. So you just don't realize how quick it comes. And then you look back and you're like, what the hell? Like, that was yesterday that I was just sitting on my couch eating popcorn for dinner. And you're just like, oh, now I have a husband to make dinner for? Okay.
Yes.
That is very true, though.
I think anybody struggling needs to just shift their mindset to those focuses. Like, instead of being at home at night, being like, I'm so lonely. I wish somebody were here. I wish I had somebody to talk to. I get to watch whatever I want on TV.
Yeah.
I can have the whole bed to myself, like whatever those things are for you, start to focus on those and less on the other things. And you start to feel just like way more comfortable.
Yeah. I also think a lot. So I'm trying to use an analogy that would make sense. So like when you're looking in the mirror and it's time to start working on yourself.
Yeah.
A lot of the times the mirror is not clear because obviously you're working on yourself and you're getting to clarity. But when you're not fully there and visions are still blurry, and you start adding more people in, the mirror gets foggy.
Yes.
You add a new job. You're adding a new city. Now you're adding a new man. You're adding new friends. You're getting perspectives. You didn't have time to sit and be like, okay, I'm in a new city. Let's get through this.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a new job. Let's get through this. Okay, now I'm making new friends. Let's get through that. Like, you don't give yourself time. I feel like a lot of people just rush in because they're like, I have to have this. I got to keep up. I don't want people to move past me. Like, I don't want my friends to be married with kids. And it's like, I do understand that. But there's so much power in being alone and making sure, because again, you said I'm not lonely, but there's so much power in figuring out who you are, what feet you stand on, looking in your own mirror. Because then when it does get foggy, you're like, wait a second, my mirror was crystal clear over here. Like, you're the one adding this fog. Is this something that we can like quick clean up together, or like, are you about to take over this whole fucking mirror? And like, I'm in a steamy ass bathroom and it just fucks me up. Like, I don't know where that analogy just came from.
No, that was so good.
You're welcome.
That was good.
Thanks. I tried.
Oscar.
I tried. I win. No, but that's something that I do find so powerful. And I love this generation because a lot of us are waiting. My mom was married with 2 kids by now.
Yep.
And I'm sitting here like, cool, mom. That's great.
Yeah. But like, I can't picture myself with 2 kids right now. Like, no way.
No, I can't even picture myself with 2 kids in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Much less now.
And I think even our parents probably felt very rushed. Like, that was just, but they didn't realize it. But that was just the norm. You go to school, you get married, you start having kids right away. There was literally no other option. And I think now people are starting to realize like, okay, I can be a person by myself first. Like, what do I want to do?
Yeah.
I don't have to have kids if I don't want to. I had several friends who would just bounce from relationship to relationship because they didn't want to be alone. Like, one friend straight up told me, I don't even know if I like him, but I just can't be by myself, because she had just gotten out of a breakup. And to me, that was just, I understand where you're coming from, but that is so dangerous to me because then when you do find your person, you're not even sure that it's your person because you never took time to figure out who you are.
Yeah.
And God forbid, like, something happened down the road. Obviously, everybody gets married thinking they're going to be married forever. But my thought is, like, if something were to happen and I got divorced, would my life crumble and fall? Or would I be like, it's okay. I know who I am. I love you and I want to be with you for the rest of my life. But if you were to ever leave me, I still know what my dreams and hopes are. I know who I am as a person, you know?
Hello. I know I have shared magnesium breakthrough with you guys before, but I truly mean it when I say it is one of the best things that I can take for myself every single night. I keep them on my nightside table. I take 2 of them every single night. Because one of the hardest parts for me is not only falling asleep, but getting good sleep, staying asleep, and then just waking up the next morning, just feeling so cruddy already, just starting your day is not fun. So when I found Magnesium Breakthrough, it has not only, most magnesium supplements have 1 to 2 forms of magnesium in it, but Magnesium Breakthrough has all 7, which is absolutely phenomenal and probably the reason why I love it and why it works so well. Every morning when I wake up, I feel well rested. My brain feels less foggy. I'm ready to start the day. And I just feel good about the night before and the sleep that I got the night before. It helps me fall asleep, stay asleep, get good sleep. And I just love waking up feeling well rested. I think you guys should really try them out. They did give Human 2 listeners a code for you. So I'm going to get the code. You are going to go to magbreakthrough.com/human2. That's magbreakthrough.com/human2. And your code is human2, all one word. Happy sleeping. I was just reading that book that I was telling you about, and one of the parts in there is saying, like, a lot of women say, you complete me, or he completes me. And it's like, it should not be a completion. It should be an addition.
Yes.
And I do believe that wholeheartedly, because it's like, yes, we should be a whole human being. Like, we should be working on ourselves. I wanted to touch on the point of our parents, because I think the world is so much bigger now. Obviously not size-wise, but
the planet Earth got bigger.
The planet Earth expanded. But when you think of it, flights are way more common and accessible. Yeah. Social media, you can visit and fly for a weekend. Our parents couldn't do that.
Right.
So it was like, either you did a life move and you didn't do it again, but it was very rare. They grew up pretty much where they were from.
Yep. They
married someone in the town. And I think a lot of people are like, they compare to their parents. And I'm like, yeah, but they had a different life than us. We have everything at our fingertips, pros and cons to that. But it does come down to, you can move to Dallas. You can be like, oh, I want to pick up and move. Like, maybe my guy will be there. Maybe he won't. Maybe he'll be in Denver. Maybe he's in New York, wherever I go next.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think social media is such a pro and a con with that, because if you see somebody else living what your dream life is, you would have never known that. Like in our parents' time, they didn't know that was their dream life. They were told, like, here's the blueprint for a successful, happy life. Go get married, have kids, and stay where you grew up. And now we can see people doing things in other cities, and we're like, wait, I think I would like that. And you get to go try it. I saw this analogy that I think is just so genius. It was like, your 20s are, instead of treating it like a waiting room, treat it like a dressing room. So instead of just like sitting around and waiting for life to happen to you, it's a dressing room. Go try on different cities, different jobs, different relationships. Isn't it so cool?
I love that.
It's like, whatever doesn't fit you, you're allowed to leave it. And like, go grab something else.
Yeah. But you got the energy to test it all out.
Yeah.
I do agree with that. I love that.
I don't know what the 30s analogy is, so I'll let you know. But
hey Siri, what are the analogies for in your 30s?
What do I do?
Wait. What do we do?
Wait, actually, we're kidding.
We're kidding, actually. They're like, you're a loser.
She's like, yeah, figure it out. I don't know.
You're already halfway done.
You had your decade.
Yeah. Your life's actually over tomorrow. Yeah. Sorry. And you're also dying of cancer, by the way.
Perfect. Thanks. Well, it was nice knowing you guys.
2 feet in the ground already. It's fine. No, that's funny. Okay, so what do you want to share? Did you have anything that you want to talk about? Because I know I sent you the questionnaire of like everything and every person I want on here. Again, it's more like there's things that you're going through in your lifetime. Like maybe I'll be single in 30. That's not in my plans, but like maybe. But there's so many people out there that go through that and don't want to talk about that stuff. They're like, it's a shame, it's embarrassment, whatever it is. And I go total opposite. I'm like, I think you guys hold the power right now, truly, because you guys are getting to do that groundwork that not a lot of us got to put in. Granted, I put in a lot, but I guarantee you put in way more. And when you find your person, it's going to be like this whole different feeling that
Yeah.
I won't experience, because it's like you've been patiently waiting for this whole time, and it'll be so beautiful and remarkable. But
Yeah.
and the power, I say this all the time, the power that you guys hold. You're single, you have all your own income, you get to live your best life. I'm like, you're always on the go. I'm like, okay. She's like, at another concert tonight. I'm like, how do you have energy? I'm like, I do not have that energy.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing is just give yourself grace. I did not picture myself single and 30.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, I thought I was going to like meet the love of my life in college, get married right after college, have kids,
Yeah.
and then do whatever. I still knew I wanted to move somewhere else, but the life I have now, my voice.
We were yelling yesterday, and Sarah's voice.
I have calluses on my vocal cords. I
Took
lose
one
them
for
a
the
lot.
team.
The life I have now is not what I pictured, but I would not trade it for anything. Like, I have so many awesome experiences, and I know I'm getting where I'm going.
Yeah.
But I think to just give yourself grace and be okay with whatever stage you're in, and know that you'll figure it out. Like, there is a reason you don't have that dream job. There's a reason you're not with a man yet. Like, everything is going to come when you're ready for it. Like, there's probably a lesson that I need to learn before I'm going to meet the person I'm supposed to spend the rest of my life with. And same thing, like I said this earlier, jobs and cities, there are so many things that I think back of in my life where I wanted it so bad in that moment. And had I got it, I would not have been happy. So I think you just have to trust that everything is going to work out, and don't beat yourself up looking around at your friends being in different stages than you are.
Yeah.
There is not one blueprint for life. And if it helps, like if your social media feed is full of people with families and that makes you sad, or like you are married, you're trying to have a kid and you can't, and your feed is full of babies,
Pregnancy announcements.
like change your environment, like mute those people if you have to. Go on TikTok and find people who are living a married life without kids, or a single life, or whatever it is. Like, surround yourself with other people, even if it's digitally, who are living your current life if you're feeling bad about your situation. Because you'll be like, okay, they're fine. They're doing it. I'm going to be fine.
You guys, I'm not the only one saying this. I've said this in so many episodes where I'm like, find your community.
Yeah.
Because everything we go through is not alone. Even Savannah and I, like if you look at us to a T, we're both married. We're both like that, pretty much the same age. Our husbands are the same age. Like we have we literally on paper are very similar.
Yep.
But we're still two totally different people, different wishes, different dreams,
Yeah.
different goals, different aspirations. Like, and I don't compare myself to her. I just am her cheerleader of like, I want that to happen for you. Do I want that for myself? No.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean I'm gonna be like, dang, should I add that to my list because Savannah's
Right.
doing it?
Right.
No. I'm like, I know what fulfills me. I know what my purposes are here. And I want everybody to be able to say that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
But-
everybody needs to take a night, like sit down, do what you got to do, and
Yeah.
figure out what you actually want in life.
Yeah.
And like truly write it down on paper. What are your goals in every area of life? Career, relationship, friendship, family, what's important to you? And then almost like evaluate, look at your current life. What things match up and what don't? And that's like your step by step of like, what areas do I need to work on?
Absolutely.
If family is really important to you and you don't talk to your family every day, okay.
So how
send
are
them
you
a
saying
text.
family's important? Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
like-
start doing the groundwork for it.
Yep. And you'll slowly start to see your life shift.
I agree. What's something that you're most proud of that you've done in this lifetime, whether it be a personal growth, whether it be an achievement? Do you have one that you're like, I am just so proud of myself that I did this?
I think it's a combination of all these little things. Like, my life now is what I romanticized when I was younger. Like, I remember
That
seeing
is so cute.
like these people in movies who like lived in this downtown apartment, and they lived in a city, and they were doing all these things like going to happy hour after work and whatever.
Yeah.
Like, just little things like that I would see in a movie, and I'd be like, oh, that's so cute.
I love it.
And now I'm like, that's my life.
Yeah.
Like, I did it, you know?
Yeah.
So
I'm like gonna cry. I'm like, I just love
you know, my eyes
that.
are like watering up. I'm like, little Sarah
fulfillment.
is so
Proud.
proud of current Sarah. Like, even though some pieces of my life like aren't fully in place, I look back. I think that is such an important thing when you're trying to figure out, like, trying to be grateful for your life.
Yeah.
Look back at what you did ask for before you probably have it now. Like, I used to want a dog so bad. I have a dog. So now every time I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't want to take him out. Like, you wanted this so bad.
Yeah.
Or like when you get tired of your job and you're like, this is so annoying. You applied for that job.
You applied for that. You
begged
interviewed for it.
Yeah. And
You
maybe
were mad when they didn't call you right away.
Yes. Like, you got references. You were begging for that job. Be
You
thankful.
better show up and work, bitch.
Yes. And like, whatever that situation is, like,
Yeah.
at some point you wanted the situation you're in now, and take that with a grain of salt. Obviously there are a lot of things that probably aren't in place, but that's what I use to try to like ground myself and be like, okay, I might not be here, but I'm here. And that's so much further than where I ever thought I would be.
I'm proud of you, and I love your life. I'm
Thanks
always
so
like, go
much.
Sarah.
Same to you,
Live
sister.
her best life.
Thank you.
So I love that you're able to speak on it, because again, there's so many people that are like, they don't want to talk about it, or especially a move. There are a lot of, like, that's another thing, scary. I could not imagine doing that now by myself. Like, it just is not on my deck of cards.
Yeah.
With Raphael, I'll go anywhere.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I couldn't imagine doing it in my mid-20s, because that was when you did it, right? Your first move was mid-20s?
Yeah, I was like 24.
Holy shit, I couldn't imagine doing that now.
24.
I would just be, I feel like I've gotten so set in my ways by myself, where I was like, I couldn't imagine picking up and moving to Dallas by myself.
Yeah, I mean, it's scary, but like I said, if you know that that is something that has been pulling you and you want to do it, you just have to do it. At least it's short. You'll figure it out, I promise. If you hate it, pack everything back up and move back home.
Yeah.
But then you know you did it and you won't have regrets.
Did you have any other cities on your list that you would want to try out?
Before when I was in middle school and high school, the Carolinas were always on my list for literally no reason. I had never been there. I could see like romanticize
Raleigh,
them. Yeah.
or Charleston.
Yeah, like a cute little beach town.
Yeah.
But then I learned that I like the
I also
city,
don't feel like,
city life more. Yeah.
I was going to say, I don't feel like they're busy enough for you.
Yeah.
You'd be like bored out of your mind.
They're fun like vacation cities for me, I think.
Have you been to any of them yet?
I went to Charlotte, North Carolina.
Did you like it?
Yeah. It was okay. I was there for a wedding, so I didn't do much.
Okay.
I really want to
I
visit.
just had to like see them get married.
Yeah.
And then I had to come home.
Didn't see the city. Yeah, no, I don't know if I have other cities. I could never do New York.
Really?
No.
Why?
I like the idea of it, but I think once I'm there, like the idea of living with 5 other people just in like a shoebox just
What if you could do it by yourself? Would you do it then?
But like your money just doesn't go as far in New York. Like I think the lifestyle that I'm
used to.
used
You can tell she hit 30. She said your money doesn't go as far there. That's literally Raphael. That was me before. I was like, it's fine. He's like,
you'll figure it out.
No.
Yeah, if I were early 20s, I probably would do it. But now I've gotten so used to a certain lifestyle that I'm like, I don't want to go live with 4 other people just to like penny pinch and figure it out. Like, I don't know. And New York is so crazy. I think everybody's just like in their own world trying to make it work. It has a place and time. It's not my place and time anymore.
Okay.
A couple of years ago, maybe I would have loved it, but
Savannah and I and Aaron's my younger brother. He's next in line, and he used to be like, he was joking. He's like, don't marry Raphael. Let's just run away to New York. Just leave him. Just leave him. And now anytime he's like, if you ever get divorced, we're moving to New York.
Like twice,
we're on the first flight out to New York. Like, it's happening.
Yeah. I don't think there are any other cities. I mean, I love a lot of cities. I would go anywhere.
Okay.
But
you really think you'll be in Dallas for a while then?
I could be, yeah. Honestly, my requirements were a bigger city and a warmer city.
Okay.
And Dallas has met both of those, and I haven't found a reason to not like it. Like, I'm sure there are other cities that I would like, but I don't have a reason to want to leave Dallas.
Yeah.
So I think until I get bored of it or something catastrophic happens to me, I don't know. Yeah, there's no reason for me to want to leave. So I'm open to other cities, but
we're looking at coming down. So.
I know. Bring it in.
Bring it on.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
I'm ready for you.
Our requirements, Raphael really wanted the major sports teams close.
Yep.
And then, and granted, obviously, those locations mean that there's more concerts, there's more everything, really. And then my thing was I wanted to be close to an international airport within like 20 minutes. Like,
oh my God, the flights out of there.
I've never lived in a city, like even Tampa, we only live 20 minutes from the airport. Minneapolis, we only live 20 minutes from the airport. And like anything past that, my mom just went and visited my uncle. It was an 1.5 hour drive each way to the airport. And I was like, he drove 3 hours to pick you up and drop you off. I'm like, No.
That's love.
Yeah. The brother love, clearly.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah.
I don't think my brothers love me that much.
Yeah.
They'd be like, can you afford an Uber?
There's an Uber. Yeah, like I'll split an Uber with you.
Right. That's me though. That's me and Raphael. People were like, can you help us move? I was like, I will pay for a mover for you.
Yeah.
No,
oh
my back is not helping you.
That's my advice. Get movers. Figure out how to get movers. Don't move by yourself.
I will chip in. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's funny. What is something, okay, I wanted to ask, you spoke on you listen to podcasts.
Yeah.
Do you have any, and you also read books, so I follow you and you always are sharing your finds. Are there any podcasts or books that you can share with people that really helped you through either one of those things that we've spoken about?
The Mindset Mentor podcast.
Okay.
It's like a daily, he puts one out like, I don't know, 4 or 5 times a week. I would listen to that every single day, like on my drive home from my workout. And it was just, you're like taking notes.
No, I'm literally going to my podcast app right now. Okay.
It's like 10 to 20 minutes max an episode. And that is truly how I learned to like reframe my thoughts. It's just like a quick little thing. You don't even have to. The Mindset Mentor. Oh. It's like Rob Dial is his name. Super short, but I would listen to it every single morning. And it just started to make you more aware of your thoughts. And I think that's the first step just is being like, good. It'll change your life. Truly.
Everything you post, I'm like, she'll like share a book. I'm like, I love that book. Yeah. And then you'll share another book. I'm like, I love that book.
Yeah, we have similar taste in that. I'm also a big, people can go whatever way they want with this, whether you want to believe it or not. I think law of attraction and manifestation is a very real thing. If you choose not to believe it, that's fine. Your life will be a lot easier once you realize like the world is literally, it's scientifically proven. The world is made up of energy. So I think the power of your subconscious mind is like it's not I'm going to sit down and read for an hour. It's like, I'm going to read 10 pages and call it a night. It's a lot. It's deep, but that will start to make you realize like your mind is so powerful.
Yes.
And the saying, like, what you focus on grows is so true. So if you're focusing on, oh my God, I can't find anybody, I'm so lonely, I hate my life here, I want to do this, I want to do that, and you're just focusing on all the negatives, that's going to grow. Like, that's what will consume you. But if you start to think about the positive things, like for me, I might not have somebody, but I like my alone time, I enjoy doing this, or I don't know very many people in this city, but the weather's warm and it's snowing in Minneapolis. Start to like,
you do be posting that on your Instagram
oh my God,
stories, like
I check the Minneapolis weather daily.
Get
I'll
off
be like,
there,
Alexa,
because then you
what's
post
the weather
it
in Dallas?
And it just pisses me off. So stop doing that.
She'll be like, it's 80 and sunny in Dallas. I'm like, what's the weather in Minneapolis? It is 32 with a blizzard this afternoon. And I'm like,
we just got 18 inches of snow.
Yeah. Yep.
No, I do believe that wholeheartedly. And this space, I've always said, I don't care if you're religious. I don't care if you're spiritual. I don't care. As long as it comes down to your morals and your values.
Yep.
At the end of the day, that is just like, that's our compass. Whatever you roll off of, that is what I care about. And Raphael actually changed my life when that would happen. Or anything I would do, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm so stupid. He was like, stop saying that.
Yes.
He was like, your tongue is so powerful.
Yep.
And it was so simple, so cliche, but then I was like, I caught myself stopping, and then like my own self-confidence went up just after months of just not being like, oh my God, I'm so dumb, ha ha ha. Like, even though it was a joke, my brain was starting to believe that, and then it transpired into more and more and more things in this lifetime, and I believe that wholeheartedly.
Yep.
So I love that you said that, because I'm like, no, I'm a preacher for that.
Yeah.
Let go and let God. Manifest the life you want, like whatever you want to say, whatever fits your forte.
Yep.
But like positivity is at the end of it, and that's
affirmations sound so cheesy and they're really hard to do in the moment.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I'm rich. I am living my best life. And you look in the mirror, you're like, no, I'm not. So it's
like, why not?
It's hard to do that, but and maybe you change it. Like, I am good at managing money. If you don't feel like, if you feel broke, instead of saying I'm so rich, you know that's not true. Say like, I'm getting better with my money, or like, I have so many friends. No, I don't. I'm good at making friends. I'm a good friend. Yeah, I'm a good friend. I know how to. Whatever it is, like changing the wording, but literally like look at yourself in the mirror every single night. Shelby, what's her name? Shelby Sacco. She's on TikTok. She always posts about healthy habits.
Okay.
She says this, like, look in the mirror every single night and give yourself affirmations. Okay. Like, I did so good today. I'm so proud of myself today. whatever it is, like,
It
just
could even
hype
just be
yourself
that.
up.
Like, I'm just so thankful to be staring
like,
in this mirror today. I'm so thankful to
I
be on
made it
this
through
feet.
the day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And start to like
Gratitude.
say those little things, because it is true. Yeah. You say like, I'm so stupid. And then you start to question all of the decisions you're making. So you're like, your brain doesn't know joke from serious, conscious from unconscious. Like your brain is just believing what you tell it. So you have to start to like.
I love that we got into this. This is so
I know.
me.
Of course we did.
I love it.
Of course we
I'm
did.
like, yeah.
Yes.
I do I start with affirmations in the morning, like whenever, and it's just, it could be in my journal, whenever I'm journaling, I could be whatever. And then at night, I'm so big into gratitude.
Yes.
But no matter what, all the time you'll catch me throughout the day. I'm like, I'm so blessed. Like randomly, I could be in my car and I'll be like, we're so blessed. When we get into bed, I'm like, we're so blessed. Like it's just constantly coming out of my mouth, even on days where it's literally nothing. And it should be every day, because we are so blessed. Like how many people are in a hotel room? Well, how many people are in Austin on a random Sunday?
Yeah.
And they could afford to be there. They could fly out immediately and get dropped to the hat. Or like yesterday, even just being at the F1 races, I was like, how cool is this?
Yep.
Like people pay shit tons of money. They spend all their life savings, and we just were blessed to just be invited. And like
you have to be thankful for literally everything. Yeah. Yep.
It's
even
crazy.
if your life feels like you just got laid off or somebody just passed away, like you have to look at it. Is so easy. That's when it's most important to be positive, because it's so easy to be like, my life sucks. My life is going in this downward spiral. Everything is wrong. Nothing goes my way. That will grow. Yeah. Like more bad things will continue to happen, or you'll just focus on the bad things.
Yeah.
But if something bad happens, you lost your job. Okay, cool. Now I have some time to sit at home and figure out like, what do I actually want to do for work? Yeah. I have the chance to go out and find a new job. I don't know. Whatever it is. Those little
I believe in
things.
seasons too. Like seasons of life is a very, very, very real thing. And you have to find fulfillment in every season. Yes. We have rainy seasons. We have cold seasons. We have snowy seasons. We have beautiful sunny seasons. Like, but at the end of the day, you have like the season's going to be there no matter what. Yep. So you're going to have a season of loss. You're going to have a season of just not getting what you want, but finding the fulfillment in those moments where you're like, okay, like I might not be getting exactly what I want right now, but I know that like a new season's coming and it's going to be bigger and better. Yep. Because I'm finding the fulfillment and I'm joyous and grateful for where I'm at.
Learn a lesson from every little season.
I just love you. I
just love you too.
Raphael, pack up. We're moving to Dallas.
Yes. I got room.
Fly the dogs down. We're not going home.
We're going to have a dog play date ASAP.
Ollie would love them. Ollie and Hadley would just go nuts together.
They need to burn energy together. They're both little psychos.
Raphael asked Sarah last night to see a picture of her dog, and Raphael like saw the face. He was like, "Oh yeah, that's a Hadley face." And she's like, "What do you mean by that?" And he was like, "Energy. Like that dog is bored, and you do not fill him up. Like we could run Hadley 12 miles a day, 20 miles a day. She'll still look at you like, and what?
What's next?
Yeah.
Yes. I get home from an hour-long walk, and Ollie will get home, and he's like playing with the ball. Yeah. No, we're done. That was the activity.
The hour was your time.
Like,
what
it's my time now.
Hattie will literally like bring a toy. I'm not exaggerating when I'll tell you. She'll be like, she'll like squeak it. She will squeak it in your ear over and over and over. I'm not exaggerating. Like I have to record this and film this and send it to you, because it is. She'll just sit there and she knows what she's doing. Yeah. She's just like squeak. It's her world. Squeak.
You're just living in it.
Yeah. 100%.
It's fine.
Okay, so you do social media as well. So you're on Instagram and TikTok, and you're trying to grow that, right?
Yeah. Well,
you enjoy that.
Yeah, I definitely I do like little vlogs on TikTok.
I love your vlogs. They're so fun.
I'm just sharing mostly like Dallas. Yeah. Like just what I'm doing in Dallas. But yeah. So
where can people find you?
My handle is Sarah, at Sarah SARAH _ Barthel BARTHEL. Fun fact, that is a famous person's name. I share
really
a name of the famous person. Yeah, so mine is a little underscore.
Were you?
She's like
named after her?
No, we're like the same age.
Oh,
she's
what does she do?
The lead singer of Fantagram, but she was in a song with Miley Cyrus, and I was like, that's my name.
Hey,
Miley Cyrus featuring Sarah Barthel.
It was me. Oh, yeah. Oh, you guys behind the
with
scenes right now. Apparently, we're getting paparazzi in our own hotel room. Okay. I think we should be good. Do you want to wrap up? Do you feel good? Do you have anything else you want to share?
No, I think we shared it all. Just live your best life.
Live your best life.
Don't feel bad about where you're at in life. There's, like you said, there's a season for everything, and your time will come, baby.
Yeah. Grace. And I love the thing that you said. My one takeaway from this is you're not lonely. And I love that. I say
Yeah.
that all the time. I never want anyone to feel alone in what they're going through. And I love seeing that and hearing that from somebody else that's not their life motto.
Yeah.
And you just said
you're
it. I'm
alone,
like,
but you're not
are
lonely.
Yes.
Don't date because you're lonely.
Yeah.
Date because
Don't settle.
yeah.
They're really hard to get away from if in general, even if you like them. So like if you're settled, you're fucked.
I just saw a chart that was like throughout your life, your coworkers are like you spend so much time with them throughout your entire life.
Yeah.
Family peaks up until you're like 20, and after that it starts to decline. Yeah. Friends peak in your 20s, and then it starts to decline. Your significant other peaks when you're like late 20s, early 30s, and then it remains consistent for the rest of your life. So like you were spending majority of your days and hours and minutes with this person, so make sure
looks back at Raphael.
Make sure it's somebody that
side
you're happy
eye
with and you're not settling yet. You're like, hello.
Bombastic side eye. I just cut you off to make a joke because she was
getting too serious.
Facts. I was like,
you're like, stop it.
Yeah. People that are probably listening, they're like, but Raphael and Savannah are both in the apartment with us. So they're probably like, what are they looking at? I'm like, side-eyeing Raphael. Like, did I make the right choice?
Yes, you did.
That is one thing I will say is you'll just know. And I feel like people, they ask, or like, how did you know he was the one? I was like, you just know. Yeah. I feel like it's so cliche, but when it just feels right, you feel peace, you feel calm. It's not like the butterflies and the giddiness. You're just like, no, like that's my best friend. You're just like, it's so normal.
Yeah.
But well, thank you for being on.
Thank you so much for having me. Literally the best weekend. Thanks for letting me say yes. And
I know. I was like, I told Sarah, I was like, do you want to come down and film? Like if Austin works out for you? And then she's like, oh yeah, I'm free that day. And I was like, actually, do you want to come to like the F1
come
races
one day early?
Too? Yeah, come a day early. She was like, oh yeah, I'm on that flight out, 7 a.m.
I'm a yes girl.
100%.
I'm saying yes.
And you ran all day yesterday on 3 hours of sleep, and we did it.
Yeah. Yep. We're here.
Well, cheers. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much. This is so fun.
We are going to go get our coffee. Go find her online at Sarah_Barthel, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Goodbye.